You know what they say, music is truly a universal language. Now, those are some of the biggest songs who have dropped right now, and I hope that helps you dancing all through the weekend. But we want to analyze each of those songs, and there's no better man than Durojaiye Ridwan, all right? People call him Content Sensei. He's a music business content creator and a music promoter. So let's see what he thinks about these new jams and what is most likely to be a hit very soon. First up, good to have you on the show, Content.
Yeah, it's good to be here with you.
All right, now, so these are some of the big songs that have dropped right now. First, Shenseea from Jamaica, Wizkid, Nigerian. I mean, we've seen collaborations and we're not surprised to get, Jamaica and Nigeria. What do you think about this, the exports of Afrobeats and how everybody wants a piece of our genre? What do you think about that?
Actually, I think it's a very good collaboration. It doesn't feel forced. It feels like Wizkid was the right person for the track, and he, the blend was very amazing. It was actually very nice. And whenever that Shenseea and Wizkid, I was like, okay, we should have gotten this earlier, and we did on Wizkid's album. And Wizkid being a featuring artist now, he did justice to the track, and no surprise. I mean, it's Wizkid.
Now, the album also has big stars. Coi Leray is there, in fact. And I'm just looking at it like, okay, this is Afrobeats to the world. We're seeing definitely more stuff coming out. And right now, I hear that, in fact, her project, the entire project itself, called, the name of the project is called, what's the name again? I forgot. Never Get Late Here. Now, it's topping it's about in 36 countries right now. Topping in 36 countries, and that particular song with Wizkid is on top 10 in about over 11 countries. So not only does it make sense that
in Nigeria, I think.
In fact, even in Nigeria as well. So do you think this is a song that people are going to play in the clubs? People are going to really enjoy? Is it going to stay a long time?
I think time will tell actually, because many times we have tracks that do well at the beginning and later on it just dies off. But this song doesn't feel like it. It feels it's a very good track.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it was made to be it's just nice. And of course, when you put Wizkid on your album and it's an international album, you know what is gonna happen. It has happened many times.
Okay.
And I feel like it's one that's gonna stay for a while.
Content, I think you are definitely on Wiz FC, because once you put Wizkid on an album, it's going to be good. It already sounds.
Actually, I'm not even a hardcore Wizkid fan. Actually,
okay.
I'm not going to mention who I'm a hardcore fan of course, but Wizkid is Wiz.
All right. Well, let's move from that sound. Of course, Fave has dropped new music as well. She's called it Controlla. We've seen her drop, of course, more singles in the past, and her song with Davido, Kante, is still doing great numbers. They dropped the music video not too long ago, and the numbers are insane in the past, few weeks that it's dropped. But what do you think about Fave, if you've paid attention to her growth? Any thoughts about the musician herself? Do you think she might be one of the next big stars coming a few years from now?
I think she has everything. When she first broke out, she was a little bit uptight and all that. And now we are seeing more of her. I mean, her dancing in Kante, I didn't even know she could dance that well. She's showing a whole different part to herself that we didn't see before. And that is very beautiful to see. And the growth is there to see. The artistry is also getting better, because many people had doubts when she dropped Baby Rhythm and thought maybe she would be a one-hit wonder, and she has proven them wrong. And that Ashake Never See You Come in line. Okay, I don't know. It's a very lovely line, but is there? Well, I'm not gonna be that guy, but
see, Content, I have to ask you. Once she puts Ashake in the song, do you think it's strategy to get Ashake maybe on the remix? It seems like Victoni got Ashake recently for Stubborn. So do you think this is strategic for possibly this collaboration?
I think it's just a line. A collaboration might happen. These people might be cool in real life and you will not even know. They might have a song already and you won't even know.
Okay.
So if there's anything on plan, if there's anything on ground, only time will tell.
Only time will tell.
But I think it's just a dope line to just use.
Now, one of the biggest conversations right now, especially everywhere on socials, is this reimagined Olufunmi. Of course, the 2006 classic by the iconic Styl Plus. Now we see ID Cabasa, Fireboy, DML, ODUMODUBLVCK, Bodge, Joeboy. Is it too much for this reimagining? What do you think about the track?
I think a Reimagine is something I didn't think of, and it's very nice to see.
Mm-hmm.
But then, as much as I love Odumodu Black, was Odumodu necessary on this track?
On this,
That's the question to ask.
okay,
But the
okay.
thing is, Odumodu is is easily top three hottest artist in Nigeria
Mm-hmm.
right now. So it makes sense to put him on, the track. So business is business. You
Business is
understand? But
business.
I mean, I remember listening to Olufunmi and being all, deep in my feelings, and
Uh-huh.
Odumodu is just gonna come with his energy that is always needed on a lot of tracks. But is it needed on this one? That's the
Mm.
question.
Now, you talked about listening to this
Yeah.
song way back, and I know the older generation probably say this, that, the music back then, the lyrics were a lot better than what it is now. Do you share the same sentiment, that perhaps even the original Olufumi had better lyrics and music back then had better lyrics than right now?
I think I think it's nostalgia. I'm not going to accept that
Okay.
music then is better than now. I think it's nostalgia because the thing is, the songs that blow up now are not necessarily the most lyrical, the songs with the best lyrical content. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Okay.
So there are a lot of gems that don't necessarily blow up. If you listen to those songs, you will understand that there are songs with great lyrical content in this age that's doing really well. People are just not paying attention to it. So if you add that to it, I think music now is even getting better, of course. I mean, it's easier to export
Makes sense.
because the production, the songwriting, everything, I think it has improved. But I think the old Olufumi, I think nostalgia is going to play a part on this one. But I think the old one is going to be at the top.
Okay. Of course, the video is out. That was shot by Clarence. And before I talk more about Olufumi, because I was about to talk about the movie industry and how usually now we're seeing remakes of old classics. Do you think we should get more remakes, more reimagined songs? Should we have more of this, more samples, to classics that we enjoyed in the past? Because I don't know, I feel like we don't get as much. What do you think?
Well, if I look at it from different angles, it could be seen from different ways. One, I think the old songs should actually be left the way they are, and we should stream them on streaming platforms. But then, if you do a reimagined song, it can lead to many people going back to check the old songs out, which could lead to royalties and money for
Yeah.
the old artists. So business-wise, it's actually very good for the new artist because the song will move due to nostalgia, and the old artists will also make money. But then sampling is already there too, that they can use to incorporate elements of this song into their new songs, and it could do well. So from the business perspective, I think it makes sense for everybody.
Okay.
But a part of me just likes to listen to the old stuff because this one came out well. Somebody's going to try a new Reimagine and it's not going to make sense at all. There are some people that are going to flop it,
You
and
have
that's
a
just the
point.
truth. So I want to protect the old songs, but business is business, and I think it's good for
Okay.
everybody.
I'm hoping we see more, honestly. Whether or not they're good, I do think it will strike up conversation, make some money, and take us back to the old songs. So fingers crossed we get more.
It goes back to the old songs.
But let's talk about Cheque. Of
Yeah, of
course,
course.
Cheque dropped the EP, What Would You Do Without Me? Now, there's a song with Bella Shmurda. There's a song with Phyno. You sound excited. Have you listened to the project? What's your favorite song?
I have. I love Check actually.
Okay.
I think it's one of the artists that the Nigerian music scene is still sleeping on, and they are going to wake up with time. I love I love this first project, then his album.
Yeah.
So listening to this one,
Bravo.
I think I think it's very nice. I like the ski. Though I haven't paid attention to it. It hasn't grown on me yet.
Yeah.
But I like ski. I like Savage. I like
In
I
fact-
like Glory Days to an extent too.
You talked about his debut album, Bravo, which dropped in 2021. That was a hit,
Yeah.
Fireboy, the song with Fireboy, History, won awards. There was, of course, Dangerous with Ira Star. And now, the
Dangerous
video
with
with
Terrasta,
Phyno,
that song was slept on big time.
it was
But
a
it
really
still
good
moved
one.
actually.
Huh. You know what? You talked about, different musicians and your personal preference and taste. What would you say is the secret to having a hit song? If you could say, like 3 secrets to having a hit song, what would they be?
If anybody knew the secrets to having a hit song, they'll be manufacturing it every time. Nobody can actually say this is the formula to create a hit song, and that's just the truth. You can study trends, you can study what works, because Amapiano and log drums came into Nigeria, I think mainly lockdown. the South Africans have been using it for a very long time, but
Yeah.
it became much more prevalent during lockdown. And since then, everybody has been using it and using it and using it. That's a trend that somebody studied. But at the same time, there have also been situations where an artist decides to be completely different and the artist just changes the game. I mean, Ashake, for example, incorporating Fuji and Afro beats to a very good extent. Because if you listen to Ashake, you will feel elements of Fuji in his music.
Yeah.
That was something that was different and it was very relatable. So people, you saw the way it dominated the Nigerian music industry. Was it not this? Was not 2022, yeah, and 2023 as well. So at the end of the day, there is no secret to it. You can study the trend, see what is working, see what is starting to take off. But number one, money. Money is the number one secret to having a hit song. You need to have money,
We're
and
running
the
out
song
of
has to be
time
very
on the
good.
show content, but I want to ask one more question before, of course, Celeb Socials will play. What do you think about AI's influence in the music scene? Are you looking to see more Nigerians, maybe, in fact, record labels here in Nigeria, partaking this, add AI, use it in some form? Or do you have fears about AI in the
Maybe,
music industry yourself?
maybe for production and music and mastering, but when it comes to creation, I think it's going to do more harm than good on the long run if there are not proper ways to regulate how it is used. And that is one thing. The laws to regulate music in this country still needs a lot of improvement. So AI coming into the scene for music production and music and mixing and mastering, I think it could be very good. But for creating, it could cause a lot of harm if we are keeping it
Okay.
100.
I guess, like you
Only time
said
will tell.
during this conversation, maybe time will tell to see if how it would either influence positively or more negatively. But thank you so much for your
Yeah.
time, Content Sensei. I do appreciate
Yeah,
you
no
being on,
problem.
of course, the show.